that point in time? What do you do? How do you really sift through that?
See, during Operation Sindoor, this was extraordinarily demonstrated, the jointness between the all forces, and as well as by the ADD strat, where the information warfare was handled. And information warfare, I talk about the Pakistani, they are generally believes in the misinformation. And they try to spread the information whether it is right or wrong, because they have this notion of victory and they believe in the narrative warfare. But what we did, we have given the right information to the people, and that is very important. And I think we do have the system now, and we do have the agencies working for it. And we have involved the media at that time, and the medias were working under the ADG strat. And we could sail the narrative whatever we wanted. And I think that's important, because ultimately it is not only your local population you're addressing, you're also addressing the global media at that time. So that matters. And if you look at the Pakistan, they've also started with the news agencies in various languages. So that is one shift we have found after Op Sindoor. So, and the Chinese also having the AI labs in the Pakistan, where they're training their persons into the IW campaigns. And Pakistan is not now, it is since 1949 that they established this IW campaigns. They were always reactive. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Aditya, I just want to bring you in on this very topic itself, because we have a lot of challenges, there's no doubt. Like, I'm not going to get into the entire topic of what the Pakistanis have essentially done in the information warfare, because you've had the political leadership being inside a war room and carrying out a full-fledged propaganda. I want to ask you, the necessity of building a trust and the culture of trust, because the moment that goes away or goes out of the window, there comes the biggest challenge, because today you have a number of youth leadership programs being brought in. As you pointed out, they have been institutionalized. We have drawn inspiration from other global, for other countries. But having said that, there is still a lacuna.
Okay, and trust is really the most important factor as far as if we don't trust our youth to do the right thing, and just taking something from what Colonel Qureshi said, very interestingly, at the time that Operation Sindoor was happening and all this disinformation was floating around, and I told you, I had a discussion with my colleagues in the newsroom. While from Pakistan, we did not hear, there was no sort of moving away from the official line. Every tweet, every X post, every Facebook post from Pakistan that was coming was sort of following a certain direction, which is what the official line was. We have won, we downed their jets, we did this, we did that, we burnt their fields, and we knew most of it was not true. We would have seen proof in our own land, right? However, in India, while there was an official line, which Colonel Qureshi and a lot of our senior people were giving, senior officers were sharing with us every day, there was a parallel line which was happening. There was, within our own country, people were, from celebrities to youth to students in Pakistan, everybody was talking about one thing, and everybody was saying the same thing, which is we defeated India. But in India, Indians were saying, oh, Pakistan defeated us, which was not the official line. And which is where I want to talk, which is really what I'm saying, but what you talked about. We need to build that culture of trust. But before building that culture of trust, we need to spread that awareness, bring the youth in as part of our defense culture, make them more, as I said, either do one-on-ones with the in universities, in colleges, in schools, or bring the olive green really into our lives more than it is right now. If I didn't have a family where I had a lot of people from the forces, I probably would not be exposed to the forces culture at all. A lot of people I know who don't have any defense people in their family, and they have no idea what the defense forces go through. what officers' families go through when they're away on the fronts, what is happening. They have no idea. They're very disconnected. That connection needs to be established. We need a cross-pollination. And before we start trusting our youth, our people to do the right thing. And it's not just the youth, really. How do we get our nation to say, everyone in our country, be it the government, the opposition, the youth, the vendors, the poor, the rich, to say one thing: how did Pakistan not have a single person saying anti-Pakistan things or going away from the official line that Pakistan was feeding everyone? There were a few. I mean, I'm sure if we start looking at things, we'll find a few of them who were coming out and saying things, but they were few and far between, unlike India.
You know, Aditi, but why do we really care? Why do we really care what the Pakistanis really have to say?
Because no. It's not about what the Pakistanis say. It's what the Indians are saying about India. That's what I'm trying to say. That why are we not... Because that sense of national pride and security, our country, our defense is not there. There is a Colonel Qureshi who will come in and this happened right in front of me. Colonel Qureshi is coming there, a lot of other people coming there, giving their daily press conference during Operation Sindoor. 1 hour later, you see Indian Twitter flooded with, a lot of people sort of debunking many of the things that were said, and which is all false, really. But this is part of that propaganda machinery that both of you talked about, from Pakistan, aided and abetted by China, of course. So, which is where the problem is. How do we get rid of that?
Does that mean, Colonel Qureshi, the truest form of a civil-military fusion that we are largely speaking about, beyond the technical terms of it, what's the most ideal civil-military fusion that we are really talking about, where, in the truest form, that people perhaps in the auditorium today can also participate?
Yeah, if you ask me about the civil-military fusion, I believe the most important thing is the Atmanirbharta innovation. If we are far ahead of the technology, and this technology infused with the army, military applications, like we have the decade of transformation, and one of the pillar is infusion of technology, this fusion of technology. And when we have this civil-military fusion, where the academia, the scientists, the coder, everybody is a part of what integrated security system, then we'll progress. And that fusion is required in every domain. We have the multi-domain operations. It has 7 domains now: the land, sea, air, cyber, space, cognitive domains. So we need to have a participation of everyone. And this young forum, where the young cadets and the young officers and students are sitting here, is their responsibility. And even the school has got the responsibility to teach them digital literacy and make them part of this. And remember, this jointness, integration, and Atmanirbharta is the key for the center, for the basically civil-military fusion. And surely it will pay the way. Thank you.
Antara, if I can bring you in, because I'm drawing this from my experience of being in China, covering the SCO summit, where I saw there was an extensive, perhaps, push made by the Chinese to project their robotic technology. I saw young people coming together, and their entire understanding of the military was extremely different, which is, again, in contrast to what we see here in India. Do you believe that if you really look at the way the Chinese have essentially inculcated that sense within the youth, perhaps there is a lesson to be learnt here for us?
Yeah, I think yes. Like, when I was in the university, around 10 years back, and they were even then talking about having their own Steve Jobs. So it is a nation on a mission. So they have a mission to be world number one. Earlier in the during the other sessions, there was, I think, ministers pointed out that we didn't have a mission or a ambition to reach somewhere. So first you have to have the target, then you can work towards it, right? So that is, I think, very much there in China as a nation. Like, they want to be the world number one, so they have been developing technology accordingly.